So I reported the other day that Evan Fournier. All right, so we reported that Evan Fournier, Cam Reddish, Derrick Rose have all fallen out of rotation for Tom Thibodeau, but Emmanuel quickly included in that. Well, those three guys with Emmanuel quickly are now in trade rumors because they're looking to package quickly or Reddish with Fournier to move that contract, and the other one, Reddish, or quickly packaged with Derrick Rose to move that contract. So those four guys are seeming like they're moved. But Obi Toppin the other night suffered a non-displaced fracture in the right fibular head, the part of the bone that's just below the knee. The Knicks announced Thursday. Doctors plan to reevaluate him in 2 to 3 weeks, which means he could be out longer. Athletic trainer and injury analyst Jeff Stotts wrote on his blog, in Street Clothes, that the average timetable for NBA players with this injury since the 05-06 season is 37 days, which would mean 17 games missed for Toppin is probably likely. Now, Julius Randle is technically the oldest guy in this 9-guy rotation, with Derrick Rose, Evan Fournier, and Cam Reddish glued to their chairs, it seems like. What's going to happen? Toppin. The options are perfect to replace him, but Thibodeau hinted that he could play RJ Barrett more at power forward, something he tried last season but hasn't done much, only 25 games into this one. Barrett at the 4 could open up more driving lanes for the 22-year-old. The Knicks could play faster. Thibodeau liked using Barrett with the second unit. He's done it more lately, but maybe he even digs even deeper. The defense fouled far too much when Barrett played power forward last season, which killed those lineups' production. But maybe this time at power forward with Mitchell Robinson could help out the defense. The fouls often come when teams bombard the paint because there's no one to stop them once they arrive, but Robinson has fared well in his time alongside multiple reserves. Yeah, what's up? Now, we'll see what ends up happening due to the fact that it'll be interesting because, look, this Robinson has fared well with, his time alongside multiple reserves. I just think right here when you look at this, the obvious candidate would be Reddish, who hasn't played since the ugly loss to Dallas Mavericks. Ideally, Reddish would be a small ball power forward who allowed the Knicks to switch on screens and get into passing lanes. When he's at his best, he disrupts. Thibodeau entrusted him with essential defensive assignments as recently as a couple weeks ago when Cam Reddish closed the game against the Memphis Grizzlies by guarding human speedball Ja Morant. But the world has provided more, context. Reddish production fell off after he lost his starting job to Quentin Grimes, and if he wasn't playing during the garbage time against the Hawks, then the question becomes when or maybe how can he see the court again? And there was a play from Dallas game that stands out. Toppin missed a three-pointer, and the Mavericks got a rebound. Reddish's man, Spencer Dinwiddie, received the ball, jogged lightly up the court, and Reddish paced behind him. And the 23-year-old Knicks, role player was already diminishing at this point. When you're on thin ice with Thibodeau, the greatest way to plummet into freezing water is questionable effort. Reddish pointed to Robinson to pick up Dinwiddie instead of him sprinting in front of the guard, and now the Knicks were mismatched to begin the position, and that's what they preferred. Would they rather have Robinson on Dinwiddie or Reddish on the guy who should have been the guy he'd been guarding? And Robinson should have been guarding Maxi Kleber. And what ends up happening? Kleber gets the open 3. So Reddish came out the next stoppage. And this isn't to pick on Reddish, but it's the reality of how Thibodeau operates. Thibodeau only wants basketball players who will run through a wall for him, even when his team is down by 20. That's how Miles McBride ended up in the rotation despite his underwhelming shooting percentages. He doesn't slither his way there. He entered like the Kool-Aid man is how this article is written. And I think it's interesting because Reddish said Thibodeau spoke with him after being pulled from the rotation, so why did the coach make the decision to keep him on the bench? Reddish said, he's not sure. I'm not the one to ask. I'm not really sure, to be honest. And meanwhile, Thibodeau has declined to pinpoint why Reddish, who got off to such a hot start this season, has had big minutes during the Knicks start, lost his role so quickly. The situation makes any onlooker think that Thibodeau would just go back to yanking him from playing time just a couple of weeks ago, and especially now with the injuries, they could try Jericho Sims, the ninth man, and use Isaiah Hardenstein at power forward next to him. Thibodeau tried similar looks with Taj Gibson at 4 last season, though Gibson's a bit quicker than Hardenstein, even at his older age, and bench units tend to skew smaller than big, which would mean a center chasing someone around the perimeter on many nights. And the Knicks already have spacing issues, and the front court probably wouldn't help them. So for me, if they could use a 3-point guard lineup of Rose, Quickly, and McBride, but the lineup would be miniature. McBride and Quickly are both long and physical and would make up for some of that size deficiency. And then M. Fournier is too far out of the rotation to re-enter. So it all comes back to what are you thinking? Because the guys have returned to Thibodeau's doghouse to fight the fight. Right now, they need someone to do something because this team is not playing well, and they need someone to come in for the next 10 to 17 games, however long we'll see our guy out for in Obi Toppin. So let me know down below.